You might find who are obviously working your same geographical area. So come and chat with you, and he's going to share a bit about his story and take some questions. And are you ready, sir?
Yes. Thank you.
Thanks for coming.
All right. I'm putting pressure on you, Sam, on the favorite part of the show. Okay? All right, guys, how we doing? Did everybody get some coffee after lunch? Yeah, I know I can get some myself. So, I don't know what it is about flying. It always shrinks my jackets when I get on the plane. Especially after my wife and I have been here for a couple of days. We've been on vacation, so those dinners are nice. My name is Tim Taylor. I am one of you guys. I'm an MSP. Who's been an MSP for 10 years or more? 20 years. How many years? About 20. We're in our 20th year this year. So we're just starting our 20th year. So I started out of the trunk of my car in 1999 by myself. And today I've got 15 employees. We're at $2 million a year. I'm probably smaller than some of you, bigger than some of you, but that's where we're at. Wrong way.
Sorry.
Wrong slide. Wrong slide.
I have to switch it for the other one.
That's all right. I used to live in California. I actually lived in San Bernardino for about 6 years. I loved it. Really nice. Worst smog in all of Southern California, though. We lived right at the base of Big Bear Mountain, and all the smog from Los Angeles would float across with low breeze up against the mountains, and it would just sit there and stop. And it was literally, you could go up in the mountains in the summertime, and it looked like it was fog below you, drive down through the smog. That was a lot of fun.
Sorry.
But that's all right. All right, give a little history on myself, and a lot of you can relate to this. I'm sure a lot of you started kind of like I did. I grew up in Memphis, Tennessee. I'm hitting it, but it's not good. I'm hitting it. It's not good. There should be a lot of information. Yeah. Well, I can wait. You want to try one?
What's your phone number? I'll just put it in. 760 717 2273. 2273.
I'm supposed to have a bunch of things to do.
Lose connection, maybe.
All right, well, I'll start. I grew up in Memphis, Tennessee. My father played, he grew up in a dirt farm in Mississippi. 8 kids, just as poor as anything. And when he was in high school, he figured out he could play football. And he loved football because that got him off the farm. He said he'd go out and practice, and all these guys would be wheezing and dying. And he would say, oh, this is so much easier than farming. I can't believe you guys are having a hard time with football. He got a scholarship to college in 1958. He came up to Memphis. And has anyone ever seen the series on Netflix called Last Chance University? Really, if you love football, watch that series. It's excellent. It's about a junior college in Mississippi. And his coach at this junior college was so tough, he was legendary. Bear Bryant was supposed to be scared of this guy. And that was the legendary coach from Alabama. And he was so famous, or so legendary, many years after he died, they wrote a story about his life. Sports Illustrated put him on the cover. And the cover story was the toughest coach there ever was. And it was, to this date, it's the longest article ever written in Sports Illustrated. And that was the guy who was my dad's coach. So my dad came up to the University of Memphis. My parents both went to University of Memphis. All their sons went to University of Memphis, and all our wives went to University of Memphis. So I could build a wing out there from all the tuition money I paid at that school. So sophomore in college, never touched a computer before in my life. Took a computer programming class. I was a business major. And suddenly I was like, oh my God, this is what I want to do. Every one of you staring at the screen, so that's okay. I just said, you know what, this is what I want to do. I love computer programming. I was a mainframe programmer, and I finished my college degree. And I remember in one of my classes, the professor gave an extra credit problem. He said, if you can get this problem right, you're going to write a program to do this problem in COBOL. If you can get it right, you get like 2 or 3 extra points on your final grade. I went over to the computer center at 8 o'clock in the morning on Saturday, and I left at 2 o'clock in the morning when we closed. And I was the only person in all those classes that got it right. Okay, and so I worked, I never stopped, and I never ate. I don't remember doing anything working on that program constantly. So it was definitely a passion for me. And I can do this without it. It's nice to keep doing that. That's all right, don't worry about it. I can wing it. I used to wing it all the time in the presentation, but then I started forgetting things. But I was trying to remember everything. So computers were my passion. Went to work for a large nonprofit that was out here in Southern California and right out of college. So from Memphis, Tennessee to Southern California was quite a cultural shift. I grew up in the South where everybody dresses up all the time. And out here it's a little more lax, and it was kind of nice. So went to work for them. I was a mainframe programmer when I first walked in the door. They didn't have any PCs. And someday the president's office wanted a word processor. So this was 1985. So I knew a little bit about them. The IBM PC was invented the year I graduated from college. So I set one up for the, who's used WordStar on a PC. Okay, WordStar with the old, we had the 5¼ inch discs. I used some of the 8-inch floppies actually on the digital PDP-11 at one time. And so I set that up for them. They had a little daisy wheel printer. Remember the daisy wheel printers? And then suddenly another office wanted one. Then another office wanted one. Then another office. So suddenly I was part of a 50-person mainframe team. And suddenly I became the microcomputer guy. From a year from the date I installed that first PC, I installed 50 PCs. With a year of that date, I installed 150 PCs. And it was still just me. I was the IT department for all the PCs. We had many more PCs than we had mainframe terminals. And I had no kind of ticketing system or anything. They would call my office when there was a problem, and people would write those notes on little pink wire out slips. And I had a bulletin board behind my desk, and they would put up all these slips on the board. So I'd come back to my desk, I would just take the next one, walk to the next person's desk, because there were no networks back then. But we started installing Novell. There was actually a version, we had some televideo PCs, and in televideo, had taken Novell and they created an operating system called InfoShare. And you could hook up 8 PCs on a network. So we had 150 PCs, so can you imagine how many networks I had to build? Every department had their own server, had their own network. You had to shut the server down to back it up. You backed up with these little things that looked like cassette tapes, but they held a little bit more. So it was a nightmare. It was an absolute nightmare. It was all DOS, but it ran, you know, and we could share the HP LaserJet. Oh my God. It was a $5,000 machine. It printed 4 pages a minute and had 2 fonts. Prestige, Elite, and Courier. That was it. So we started growing. We eventually tied, when Network 386 came out, you could hook up to 256 machines on one server. So we built that big network and we tied it into our mainframe. So we were able to get rid of mainframe terminals where you could sit at the PC, hit like Control-Alt-Minus or something, and suddenly you became a mainframe terminal. So that was really nice. And I was with an organization from 85 until 97. And so over that time, I built the network up to over 700 machines. And we moved the headquarters in 91 to Orlando, Florida. Sorry, guys, coffee. I have a little acid reflux. So we moved the headquarters in 91 to Orlando, Florida. And it was a great move. It was a little more affordable. You can buy a house in Orlando for about $80,000, a 4-bedroom house. You can't do that today, but in 91 you can do that. So a lot of our staff were able to buy homes and things like that. So, and was with that organization until 97, and I said, you know what, this is a great organization, but I had a 3rd child at that point, and I basically just couldn't afford to work there anymore. And I worked for a small IT company. It was just me and the owner. And you should always be wary when you walk into a company that's been around for 10 years, and the only person that works there is the owner. There's always something wrong, right? Nobody can get along with it, okay? I lasted for a year, maybe a year and a half, and I realized after about a week why nobody could work for this guy. But I learned a lot. He threw me in to things. I had never set up a Windows network before. It was all Novell. When I left, so the company was all Novell. Suddenly, this office wanted me to upgrade their Windows NT4 server to NT 2000. I went and bought a book on NT. It was about that thick, and I read every word. And I said, okay, I see the difference between Novell and NT. I can do this. So I figured, I literally remember the first day I was there, I had to map a drive on a Windows 95 machine. And I honestly didn't know how to do it. So I had to look it up. And the internet wasn't really around so much back then. So I had to figure out how to do that. But you know, I was a network guy, so I figured it all out. And I worked for him for a year, and then this one client that I had brought in, they wanted to hire me, and I said, no, I'll make him my number one client. They really wanted to work with me, and so I separated from him and went to work at one client. They had 25 machines. I had to upgrade them from Windows 95 to Windows 98, and then 98 second edition, and then we had Windows 2000 servers. And there was a law firm next door, and I walked in there one day and I got their business, and that basically was the start of my MSP. And by 2006, I had 8 employees, so we had no office, and we were doing over $1 million a year in just billable time. My guys were averaging 40, 50 hours a week of billable time, which is very profitable, especially when you have no office. We had almost no overhead. But the world changed. You know, the recession came, and there were things called PSAs out there. So we started with ConnectWise. We got ConnectWise in 2008, and by 2010, we were maintaining about 400 computers, and we switched about 2 years ago to Autotask, which we really enjoyed that. Autotask is a great product. I literally made the decision to move to Autotask, and the very next week, I heard that Autotask and Datto were merging. So that was exciting. And they actually confirmed my decision. So it's been a great move for us. We love Autotask. A lot of you probably have ConnectWise. It's a great product too. ConnectWise's headquarters, though, is only about an hour and a half from my office. This doesn't leave this room, but they recruited one of my employees one time, and then she tried to recruit another one, and I said, you know what, we're not going to do this. So I have a little contract with ConnectWise. They can't recruit my employees. But Autotask doesn't do that, thank God. But around 2008, we needed a better backup system, okay? Who's been in a computer room over the weekend with a tape backup drive that the server died on Friday, and if you don't get that thing restored by Monday morning, you're not gonna have that client. Yep, who's been there? Okay, I was in the building, what's that?
The tape backup drive is connected to the server that failed.
Yeah, exactly. So you buy the hard drive that failed on a Friday afternoon, you show up in there on Saturday morning and you're thinking, by God, I hope this works. I hope it's not a controller, I hope it's just a hard drive. And I hope this tape backup actually worked. How many of you have tried to restore data from the tape and it didn't work? Or the backup hadn't worked in a while, and no one was checking on it. When I worked in California, there was a hotel operation that was part of this big nonprofit, and the hotel had a little server with it was a tape backup. And back then, the way you upgraded the operating system on a server, you could upgrade it in place. You would back everything up on tape. You would upgrade the operating system on the server. This was Novell, and then you restored everything from tape or all the data from the tape. Okay. And actually back then, you had to replace, on each of the network cards, you had to replace an EEPROM chip when you upgraded the operating system, for some reason. So I went to the hotel on a Friday afternoon, and I backed everything up. This was about 5 or 6 in the evening. It took 3 or 4 hours to back everything up, and I upgraded the operating system on the server, which means wiping it out completely. And about midnight, I started restoring all the data from the tape. And the tape drive actually printed a report when it backed up. This is everything I backed up. And I looked at the files, they had the correct dates on there and everything. I assumed it worked. Big mistake, okay? So I backed everything up, started to restore it all. As the files were going by, it showed the dates of the files, and everything was 4 months old. And in the end, the data that was actually on the tape, irregardless of the report that it just printed, the tape drive had stopped working 4 months before, and I didn't know that. So I realized this about 3 in the morning. They were all coming back to work at 8 o'clock in the morning. Can you imagine how I felt for the next 5 hours? It was horrible. That's the worst backup experience I've ever had. Who's had a horrible backup experience they want to share? Yes, sir.
I'm going to share.
You look like you can share.
The same thing, it's backups that were running and then they weren't.
Yeah.
So back at AT&T, I was at AT&T.
How many of you had a situation where somebody feeds a tape in, and then they walk out the door, and about 30 seconds later, the tape ejects because it's jammed up, or something's wrong with the backup procedure. And they walk in the next morning, and all the tape ejected, they backed up fine. So they put another tape in, right? They think it's working.
Yeah, they weren't smart back then, so.
Yeah, exactly. There weren't always reports you could get on the backup, did it really work, blah, blah, blah. Or sometimes it created a report, or you could show the customer where to look, did the backup succeed? But they don't check it. And then they have a problem, you drive over there to restore, and the tape isn't working. It hasn't worked in a long time. Who still has clients that use tape? I have one, okay? It can be a reliable media, but you have to constantly check it. And you don't know if that backup worked until you go to store something from the tape. You have no idea. So you have to, you can have one good tape in a set of 5 tapes, one bad tape. You don't know. You have absolutely no idea. That's the bad thing about tape backup. It's cheap and it holds a lot, but it's just not a reliable backup system. Technology is actually very old. So in '99, I started my own company out of the trunk of my car. Like I said, we were up to 400 machines by 2010. Today we're maintaining about 2,000 machines. We've got 15 employees, and we basically made the move to Datto and AutoTask about 2 years ago. Well, we started using Datto in 2008, and at least once a year, Datto saves my bank. Absolutely once. Every year. Orlando, Florida is the lightning capital of the world. Not the United States, the world. And why the Kennedy Space Center is there and all of that, I have absolutely no idea. I would think it would be much better out here because you guys don't have the weather problems that we have. But for some reason they want it on the East Coast, and we do have a lot of lightning. We have a lot of lightning strikes, and I sell my own brand of machines. There's actually a manufacturer in Orlando that builds PCs and servers for us, and we put our logo on them. And I give people a 3-year on-site, no questions asked warranty. And they really like that because I can get parts the same day. My manufacturer is in town. So most of my clients buy their machines from us. And they like that because I'm standing behind it and it makes them very sticky. Okay, because yeah, we can leave your company, some Joe Tech down the street charges a little less than you, but there's the warranty on all the equipment. So it really makes it sticky if you can create your own brand. In every city, there's always good clone builders, build really good little workstations, and even servers. And you can get them to put your logo on it, and you can basically charge them for it. And then you have the warranty, and that makes people a lot stickier. But one of the things I noticed when I started my company was the lack of consulting that was out there. I could not find, there was no help. In 1999, how do you start a managed service company? How do you start an IT company? Basically, I looked online, and I found one book on how to start a computer store. That was the only book I could find when I started my company. And so I said, you know what, I ought to write this book one day. And around 2010, I started thinking about it seriously, and then I met with a guy, and he recorded everything I said, and we actually kind of got into the chapters, and I actually wrote this book. It's actually how to start and run a successful IT company. And this is up on Amazon right now. I have 3 or 4 copies here. If anyone wants a copy, I have a couple for sale here today. But I started a consulting practice. And so if you're interested in talking with me, I'd love to talk with you. I've got clients all over the country, people that are just getting started, people that have business for 10 years or more, and they feel kind of stuck, they don't know how to grow. You know, I can definitely tell you how to get to the size I am, and bigger if you'll work. I work with a lot of people that are just getting started, a lot of guys that are one-man bands, and a lot of people that have 4 or 5 employees. And they're just kind of stuck around that $1 million mark, and they want to know how to take it to the next level. So if you're interested, you know, I'll be in the back afterwards. I'd love to talk with you. But Datto is a fantastic company. I've been to their headquarters. I've spoken at about 8 to 10 roadshows this year. It's been a great experience. They have great people, and they're really, really committed to this market. And they only sell through the channel, obviously, so they'll never compete with you. And they have great products. So any questions? Especially about, you know, one of the things I really help my people that are my consultees about selling managed services. That I feel like is one of my big things. I actually grew my company to the point where I hired a general manager about 3 years ago. That was one of the best things I ever did because I love to sell. I love to get out there in the field in front of clients, and it freed me up to do that. So I spend about 90% of my time selling. Okay, I'm out in the field, I'm going to networking groups, and I'm getting in front of people. And who believes because they're a technician they can't sell? Okay? Okay, why do you feel that you can't sell?
If it's a cold call, you know, when somebody finds me on the internet and wants me to come out and pitch my product,
Right.
I just don't do a good job. I think I'm too busy
Struggle.
being
Sure.
too IT,
Yeah.
being too technical,
Right.
and not being sales.
All right, who wants to buy, if you were to buy something technical from somebody else, would you rather talk to a technician? Would you rather talk to a slick salesman?
A technician.
A technician, that's exactly right. When you look across that table to that business owner and you say, look, I sell managed services. We don't bill by the hour. I charge you a flat rate to maintain your network, and it's based on the number of machines that you have. Ask me any question that you want, and I can answer. You're not doing sales tricks. You're not trying to manipulate them and saying yes 10 times in the meeting. You're not trying to wow them with this, that, or the other. You're saying, look, I sell a good service at a good price. And if you're the owner of the company, it is much better because they love to deal with the owner. Small business owners love to deal with other small business owners. Who knows why that is? Because they want you to work hard for them. If you lose their business, they want it to hurt you. Why do you think Dell and AT&T and all these other companies are not in this market? Because nobody will buy from them. Who wants to buy managed services from Dell? They do offer it. How many of you run up against them in the field? Competitors. You don't run up against them. Because every time a customer will call, they'll get a different technician on the phone. Who wants that? Okay?
They do also work with your company.
What's that?
Dell will try and work with you
Yes.
and give you some of your services, like to enhance your services.
Right.
But I always looked at it as like, well, I'm losing my money by giving it to you.
Exactly.
It's
Exactly.
not a viable
Yeah.
solution.
Small business, and I end my book with this statement. I said, small businesses will always work with other small businesses. Always. If they have the opportunity, they will always work with another small business because they want that personal touch. You know, my business, every one of my customers, every one of those 2,000 people sitting in a computer has my cell phone number. Every one. I don't get that many calls, but they know they can call me if they want to. The call I get is the business owner. He's traveling, he's in a hotel, and he can't get his email. That's the call I get, okay? And I get him on the phone when I text him and take care of it, okay? But the point is they know they can call me. And so you're gonna get that at Dell? Are you gonna get that at HP? Are you gonna get that at AT&T? No way. There's absolutely no way. So you provide an extremely valuable service. What was the number we said earlier? We're going from 27 billion to 40 billion?
40 to 72.
Yeah, 72 billion. We're going to double, and you know one of the biggest reasons that the MSP market is growing is security. Okay? People now are afraid of what's going on in the networks. They hear about all these hacks. They hear about all these problems. And you know, if you maintain their network correctly, they have the right tools, they have the right antivirus, they have the right patching, the right backup system. They may have a problem, but they got to get back quickly, and you're going to take care of that for them. Yes, sir.
How are you dealing with a lot of the cloud, a lot of clients, cloud.
Yeah. Cloud.
You're building your own,
You become their cloud provider. That's how you do it.
Yeah.
Okay? Yeah, move to the cloud? Sure. You don't want an in-house server anymore? I'll set you one up in the cloud. It needs to be your cloud. Buy your cloud services from a provider where you can resell it. It's your thing. Okay? In every city, there's big hosting companies. You go in there and say, look, I want to lease some server space from you guys, and I want to build virtual servers on there for my clients. I want to build private VPNs from their office to you. They'll sell you that in a heartbeat. I lease these big servers at a data center in Orlando, right down the road, and I say, your stuff is stored right down the road. I can take you there if you want to see it. If they're scared of the cloud, say, look, it's just like me taking the server out of your building, running it down the road 5 miles, and running a long course. That's all it is. If you want to see it, I'll take you in there. Okay? But it's my brand that they're buying. I'm providing all of their IT. Okay, so yeah, let them move to the cloud. They need a domain controller. They're to be HIPAA compliant. They have to have log in and log out security. They have to have a domain controller. Okay, but you provide it for them, and you're not losing any revenue. You have to charge the same maintenance on the server, and I tell them, so look, you never have to buy another server. Okay, but you still have to back up their data. You still have to maintain it. You still have to do all the things that it was like just like a server. They don't have to buy a server. So, okay. All right, guys, I'll be back afterwards. Thank you very much.
All right, guys, we're in front of stage. Now, the front stuff, I mean, next where we need to. Oh, no.
There it goes. That was working.
That's magic. I'm just gonna whip through. So
Look at that.
Timing's all right.
What's that?
Job 10.
Hey, hi, 10 Taylor. Didn't get you. Thank you.
You didn't get to edit that slide.
No. But thankfully, here we go, all right. So,